Alright, what's going on, guys? Trevor back again, here to bring you the video. This one's going to be a review of Walking Dead issue 97, Something to Fear Part 1. So the new story arc starts now. Will be 6 issues, and I have a feeling it won't be self-containing. It'll probably go on to another story arc after this one, but this story arc will take us right through up to issue 100, which should be pretty big, should be pretty good. This issue on itself, in and of itself, I think was really good overall. I thought it was very exciting. When I read the preview, I thought it was really cool because it ends on the page where, by the way, this will contain minor spoilers, although there's nothing major to spoil in this issue. It's not the same as, somebody getting, like one of the Rick's community in Alexandria, they're getting hurt or anything. Nothing like that really happens in this issue. So the spoilers aren't too major since it's not really a huge, nothing really huge happens in this issue, so to speak. But there is really good plot development and everything. So what I was going to say was that when I read the preview for this issue, because you can check out the first 6 pages of it or whatever, I think 4 or 5 or 6 pages, for free on the internet. You can read the preview. And it ends with basically Rick, Andrea, and the others, Michonne and Carl in the car. And basically what Rick says is like, he hears a motorcycle. And based on the cover, I thought he was wrong. I thought it wasn't a motorcycle, it was a chainsaw, because I thought that just would have been really cool, because the cover for this one is a chainsaw, at least the issue I got. Now, there were variants, but I think that those are for the next couple issues coming up. I'm not positive, though. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, the one that I got today has the chainsaw on the front. So I assumed he was wrong, and it wasn't a motorcycle. It was actually like a chainsaw being revved up or something like that. And I was just like, holy cow. So I was really excited to pick this issue up. And when I did, it didn't let me down at all. But we didn't get to see the dude with the chainsaw at all, or any of the guys with any of the uniquely cool weapons. It's mostly just been, your average Joe, so to speak, so far. However, this issue does kind of give us some insight into the Negan group. And it does look like there are quite a few members of that group. There's not just like 1 or 2, but it seems like there's, a good amount, like probably 30, 40, 50, something like that, like a lot of people, or a lot of guys. I don't think there's any girls or women. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's a big group. It doesn't look like it's a small group by any means, because in this issue we get to see 8 members of the group in total. We get to see 5 on bikes and then 3 at the end of the issue, standing, lying in wait for Abraham and Eugene, which is really exciting, to see what will happen with that in the next issue. So anyway, let's backtrack and start from the beginning. So we start off, and there's a scene at Alexandria in the church. So just to get us started with some dialogue and that kind of stuff, and to touch base back with what's happening in Alexandria. They're pretty much worried about Carl because he's gone missing, but they know that he's going to be with Rick, and he kind of snuck into the van because the only thing that left the gates were open was for that. There's no other way Carl would have been able to get out. So it seemed like they were a little bit worried, but they kind of had an idea. Then we get the scene between Eugene and Abraham discussing the casting of bullets and what he wants to do with that. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that would be very useful for them for sure, if he can actually make it happen, although it'd be probably very difficult to do. But, hey, if they can do it, they can do it, right? And then we get to see the showdown between the Negan group on their motorcycles, 5 of them, and Rick's group. So this was the most exciting part of the issue, I think, and just extremely exciting when Rick gets out and everything, and they've got the guns pointed at him and all that. And then he calls for Andrea, and then she takes down 2 of them, and then Michonne comes out and takes down another one, cutting his head off. I thought that whole page was really cool. And then the following page where we get to see just them sort of drive off, and then the zombies just roam in and start devouring, was very fun, very awesome. I like that a lot. So yeah, it looks like, I mean, they really had no other choice because they were going to steal their stuff. They did let one member of the group get away, though. I'm not sure if that was necessarily a good decision on Rick's part, because obviously this other group is not going to, agree to his terms, and pretty much is going to start a war. You might be better off just killing him, because I mean, the less knowledge that they have, the better. In their group. So I don't know, but obviously that's going to help out the story and be interesting, because now he's going to go back and tell the rest of this Negan group about what transpired, and we'll see where that leads us to. So also was interesting was the dialogue that one guy was saying. We don't have a name for him. He just says we're all Negan, this kind of thing, and I think that's just kind of interesting too, because like it's funny because when something like that happens, I mean that's I can see that happening a lot, like in a zombie apocalypse type situation, that you could get groups that might have some kind of religious foundation to them, some kind of worship and a leader that. Now it's unclear so far whether Negan is actually a person or whether it's they refer to all themselves as it, and it's some kind of like religious view. So or maybe they're worshiping somebody. Um, so that's interesting to see, like if they have like one leader or if there isn't really a leader, but it's just the group as a whole refers themselves as this, this part of it or whatever. So maybe it refers to their religion in general. So that's kind of interesting. Can't wait to see what happens with that. And you could call it a cult too, cult religion. What's the difference? I don't really know a difference. A religion is a widely accepted cult, in my opinion, anyway, really. So they let the one guy go. The zombies feast. They bring back the supplies. Rick rallies the troops, so that was pretty cool to see everybody there and just him talking to them. And then we get some good dialogue between Andrea and Rick, and possibly foreshadowing for issue 100. So something's going to go down issue 100. They both think they're pretty much cursed at this point because everyone around them seems to die. So we'll see what happens with that. Very exciting for issue 100. And Kirkman does use a lot of foreshadowing in his comics. If you backtrack and you read through the story again, Rick is talking about how he's good with his left hand with an axe before he gets his right hand cut off. And there's a lot of foreshadowing. Like at Alexandria, there's dialogue between Rick and Andrea where she says, like all the different things that could happen to this place. Another group could try to take it over. A herd could come through. It could catch on fire. All this other different type of stuff. And so far, in that order, just as she foreshadowed when she was talking to him, a group came through. What was the next one? A herd came through, and the others like fires and stuff. I forget exactly what the quote was, but it was something along those lines. And the other two that she mentioned at the end have not come to pass yet. So, possibly more foreshadowing there that he could come back to. He does use foreshadowing too, all throughout for different things. So that's something to kind of look out for. So, and just like the issue 100 cover, where we got to see Andrea there it looks like her anyway. A lot of people are debating whether or not it's supposed to be her or it's supposed to be her sister. People just don't know. So, that's interesting too. And we'll see if this is foreshadowing for that. I certainly hope not, because I think she's an interesting character, but we'll see what happens. So then, pretty much the ending with Eugene, Abraham, and just about to get jumped, basically, by it. We see three guys. They don't look heavily armed. One's got a small pickaxe. The other one's got, I think, a baseball bat, and the other one, I'm not sure what he has. And I don't see any guns with them. So, but we could see the death of a character like Eugene, maybe. I doubt that they'll be able to take Abraham down. I don't think they'll be able to, even if there's three of them. If he's got his assault rifle loaded with him, I think they'll be all right. But we don't know. There could be more there too. More importantly than that, though, they do know the location of Rick's group now, which is interesting. And we're only to assume that those guys are part of the Negan group as well. So yeah, that's going to be really advantageous for the Negan group to know where Rick's group is, but Rick's group not to know where they are, because maybe, I don't know, like we don't know exactly where they would be. Maybe they move around. Maybe they pretty much live on their motorcycles. Maybe it's really hard to tell. But anyway, I love this issue. I thought it was very exciting, very good. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Exciting, thrilling, and the start of what will be an interesting story arc. Probably an interesting couple to take us through issue 100. This is War. Later, guys. Peace.